Hello and welcome to part one of a video series on how to develop in PHP. The first lesson will be installing and doing a basic screen with hello world on it. It's not very exciting, but it'll give you the basics on how to set up your local development and also display some information on the screen so you feel like you've actually done something. What is PHP? Well, PHP stands for Hypertext Preprocessing. It's widely used and it's an open sourced language that is especially suited for web development and can be embedded into HTML. There's three main uses. You can use it server side using Apache. Command line scripting, you can also use it in your terminal or command line depending on what system you're on, Mac or Windows, or Linux for that matter. Desktop applications, but this isn't going to be mainly suited for desktop applications because, I don't know anybody that uses it for desktop. So we'll just continue on. We're going to start by downloading XAMPP. XAMPP is a cross-platform Apache, MySQL, PHP server setup that'll run on your local machine. This will allow for you to do any sort of local development in PHP and also run localhost in your browser, which will show basically your website locally. So let's go ahead and run that. So in the description below, I'll have a link to the download page for it. All you need to do is just pick your version. Let's go ahead and stick with 8.018 because that is the latest release. I wouldn't recommend going with 8.1.5 because it's not technically released quite yet, but you can still use it. So just go ahead and click on the download link. I've already downloaded it myself, so I'll let you go ahead and download it. Once you're done downloading it, just go to the folder that you downloaded it to and double click on the XAMPP installation. It's most likely going to pop up with a, are you sure you want to install it? But just go ahead and say yes because it's a trusted application used by a lot of people. So go ahead and hit OK when there's a little warning pop up. Then we're going to just go ahead and hit next. I'd probably recommend go ahead and click off the fake send mail, Webalizer, FileZilla, Mercury, mail server, Tomcat, and just stick with the basics. A lot of these you're not going to use and we won't cover through this course. PHPMyAdmin, it's okay. There are other applications we can use to access the MySQL database, but you can keep that in if you'd like. Go ahead and hit next. Select the location you want to install this to, and then hit next. All right, and then right here, you're going to get a Bitnami for XAMPP. Just go ahead and click off that because it's just going to send you to learn more about it. We're going to hit next, then hit next. It's going to go through the installation process. Okay, and through editing, so that way you don't have to sit there and watch me install it, I'd recommend pausing right now to wait for the installation to finish. And then once it's finished, you're going to go ahead and leave this control panel now to start up. So we're just going to hit finish. And then once you're done, you'll get this nifty panel that'll say Apache, MySQL, FileZilla, Mercury, Tomcat. The only two we're going to be interested in right now is Apache and MySQL. And because this is kind of a basic tutorial for the beginning, we're just going to stick with starting up the Apache server. So basically this is going to allow us to be able to display PHP type files. It's already set up automatically to allow that. Once you're done with that, we can go ahead and test to see if that works. I'm going to go ahead and pop over to the browser, and if you go over to your browser and type in localhost, it should take you to this page right here, which is giving you some basic information, but we're not going to need that right now. So to continue, you'll need to download some sort of IDE or some sort of tool to be able to edit PHP files, what I'd recommend using is VS Code, Visual Studio Code. I will go ahead and add a link below for VS Code, and so that way you can go ahead and download it. I'd highly recommend using it because it's got a lot of features. All right, so go ahead, after you've downloaded VS Code and installed it, we're gonna go ahead and open it. Okay, once you have your VS Code installed or whatever IDE you choose to use, we'll go ahead and go up to File here, open File, go to the XAMPP directory, which should, if you installed it in the default directory, it should be located in your C drive. Go to XAMPP, then to htdocs, and open the file called index.php. And just to give you a little bit of information, when you initially load a web page, if you don't have anything on the end of your URL to point it to, it'll auto default to either index or main. Most of the time you're going to use index.php when you're loading a screen. That's just going to be default. So we'll go ahead and start there. We're going to go in here and we're going to go ahead and delete all the content in here so that way it's fresh. We can type hello world, and if you go back after saving it and go back over to your local host and make sure you're at the root of your local host, that means just localhost with nothing after the slash, you will see after refreshing, you'll see hello world just by itself. So in PHP, on most PHP pages, you can just write straight up HTML and this wouldn't be an issue and you'll be able to display the information out. But for now, we're wanting to learn PHP, not HTML. So in here, let's go back to our VS Code. We're going to remove the contents and then we're going to remove hello world. Go ahead and put these tags, which is this PHP tag. In order for a PHP to be able to parse a document for any sort of PHP, you have to have it between these PHP tags. If not, it's going to just treat it as normal HTML or any sort of text that would be on the screen. It's highly recommended that you put these PHP tags. There is another way of doing it. There is a shorthand version if you just want to display some sort of text or a variable on the screen. Right now, we're just going to go ahead and display a string. So instead of just having HTML like we did, which was just displaying the hello world, we're going to do it in the PHP way of doing it, which is using echo. Echo is going to print any sort of variable or string after the echo statement, followed by semicolon. Remember, anything that you do in PHP that you're finishing a line, you need to make sure that you follow it up with a semicolon, or else it's either going to break, you're going to get some sort of error. And if you're using VS Code, you'll see if you run any other command afterwards, it's going to give you this red squiggly line. And if you hover over it, you're going to see that you have a syntax error. So make sure that you follow anything up with a semicolon. Inside here, we're going to go ahead and type hello world, and we're going to save that. And if you come back to your local host and you refresh, you're going to see that it just still says hello world. But the difference is that you're using PHP and you scripted it out to display hello world, unlike before where you were just displaying basic HTML. And if you right click on this and you inspect it, you'll see that it just says hello world. So all it did was just take the string from here, and PHP went through and parsed it and then put it on the screen as if it was just regular old HTML. And with that, we're going to go ahead and end it here. PHP is a very simple language to learn. It's highly recommended. You can also learn Python and stuff like that, and that is a easy scripting language to use. But personally, PHP was probably the first language I learned in web development, and I still use it to today. And I have a position as a lead software developer, and I've been doing it for over 15 years. So I've got a lot of experience in this, and I do want to continue on this series. I am a little on the nervous side because this is the first tutorial video I've done, so I'm sure over time it'll get better. With that being said, if you have any questions or if you had any errors, please leave a comment below. And I do plan on continuing this series, so subscribe. And if you like the video, go ahead and leave a like, or if you have any comments on how I can make this better, please do. Again, nervous. First video, don't know which one to tell you. All right, with that being said, I will see you in the next video.